I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is the semifinals and finals of the 2025 Catan tournament, the Mind Sports Olympiad Grand Prix. And with me today is none other than former gold medalist, the winner of the 2023 Mind Sports Olympiad, and one of the strongest players online, and also a content creator and Mind Sports athlete and commentator, and also the organizer of this tournament, Benjamin Ramos, also known as Vamos Cosmos. Hi, Benjamin.
Hi, Alexey. How are you doing today?
Oh, can't complain at all. Extremely excited for this tournament. Yeah. I also feel a bit sorry that I wasn't able to play it, although it was a conscious choice just so that I would be able to stream it. Are you having a similar feeling being an organizer now instead of a player?
Well, yeah, I told you this is like, I feel like for Catan tournaments, like I can't really organize and play. Granted, it's actually a rule within the official tournament scene where you actually, if you're the organizer, you can't play. Not that, which is not like in like MSO where you see like Matt Tucker organized supposed to play. But yeah, it's something I'm used to, and I'm kind of glad I don't play because that's a lot of brain power trying to run these tournaments. So yeah.
Alrighty, well, it will probably require a bit of your brain power to do the commentary, because I expect you to do most of the color commentary today as the more experienced Catan player. So before we jump into the tables, I guess I just wanted to talk about the tournament format a little bit. There were just over 40 participants, so the top 16 are in the semifinals, and you can see them on the screen. The player with the screen named Jolly Baker, the only one to score 3 wins in all the 3 preliminary rounds. A bunch of players on 2 win. I see some players who are familiar to me. For example, Cici, Senglar, Game Over, Paiva, and Faubar are also all Carcassonne experts, so they have all appeared on this channel before. And Ben, anybody else from the top 16 that is noteworthy or maybe is familiar more in the Catan world?
Well, in the Catan world, or Catan, however you want to call it, Geo Piglet, Pig, he's very popular in the competitive Catan scene, but he was like the silver medalist, the juniors, I think in 2023. So he's very experienced in all types of board games. So I know him well because he's a pretty good damn Catan player, but he's also he's ventured out to all the MSO, the different games that they're involved in MSO. So Pig is one. Sparrowhawk is also somebody he made the finals of 2023 with Shindy and myself, actually, and Mars. Let's see. There's some more. I mentioned Jolly Baker. He's also very popular in the Catan scene as well. And I guess VP. VP is also he's also an online Catan player as well. So those are the players within the online Catan scene that people would know too. But it's interesting you mentioned how Carcassonne and Catan kind of intersect, because I feel like there's a lot of Carcassonne players in the Catan field. We also have Mars, the former world champion, 71st, a very good player from Russia. And let's see, there's other.
Well, Sporter, you see 18, for example, he's the former winner of the Carcassonne Mind Sports Olympiad. He just was short of qualifying, just as Mars 15, for example. And there are probably a bunch of others. I can only see the top 18 of the standings already. And then let me just show the tables, how they're distributed. Now, we had a bit of a chat before the game, and we figured that we would show table 1. We're going to have, well, actually 4 out of them, famous players. So you mentioned Shindy and VP, and of course Game Over, known as a Carcassonne player, and Jolly Baker happens to be the only one with 3 wins, so it quite an easy choice for us. So let me just open the table and see if they have already started, because I really don't want to miss the placement part. For me, it's the most exciting part of the game. So it looks like they've started 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
Okay, so actually just the first 3 placements have been completed. Now player 4 is just placing on this 5, 9, 10 double wheat. So let me just round down through. So Shindy was first with the orange. I'm going to keep saying meeples, but I need to remind myself that there are no meeples in Catan.
There's no meeples in this game.
Yeah. How do you say, like, with the orange houses, with the orange roads, or just...
Settlements. It's settlements, yeah. That's the technical term, yeah.
Yeah.
You can say houses too as well, but yeah, it's settlements.
Yeah, so orange on 8-10-4, strong ore. Then we had game over as blue, also in another ore weed spot, 6-9-3. And then the third was, in fact, Jolly Baker, who I think first placed on the 5-8-10 for a strong brick, and then took a 2-9-10. So that's also an interesting choice. I probably want you to chime in a little bit later. Then we have Vident was fourth with the 5-9-10, 8-3-4, no ore but high production setup. And now Game Over rather quickly places on 6-3-11, assuming that he must have calculated this whilst also playing on his first settlement. And now finally Shindy as orange will be placing his last meeple. Really not many spots available on this board, so he goes for the 6-11 or 6-12-5. By the way, Ben, like, when you name these spots, does it matter what's the order? Like, is it 6-5-12, 6-12-5? Like, is there a convention for that?
That's an interesting point, because I think you just go... That's actually an interesting point. I think you go... Because, like, we don't say, like, 8-5-10. We always say 5-8-10. So... I don't know, just say what sounds best. That's actually an interesting point you mentioned that, but like with the 2-9-10, we made it like 2-9-10 instead of 10-9-2. So that's how I call it. So yeah, it's kind of like what rolls off the tongue the best.
Yeah. So. Well, the placement phase has finished really, really quickly, so we can see even some dice being rolled. I just wanted, Ben, you to comment on the position. So for me, this side-by-side setup of white was pretty interesting. The 2-9-10 choice going for the 6 ore. Who has the best placement in all of you, and like what would be the players' plans throughout the game?
Well, I think for just looking at it, I think Shindy is probably the best at the moment, because he has a pretty... What I've tried to value with like placements is like diversity numbers and also high production numbers too. And Shindy has both. He is basically, you could argue 5, but 6 different numbers. And he actually has a great port with that wood port there on the 10 wheat. So he can, if he gets that wood port pretty easily, he could his game could accelerate in terms of his production with the double up wheat and the wood port being flexible too. I'm gonna say probably Jolly is my second best here, because like if he just gets his rolls, and we got a trade here as well. If he just gets his rolls here with the 10, the 8, if he builds that 6-2, that's actually great for him. Gets a great port with the 3-1, and he also kind of locks it up too with the 6 being selling the 6 ore. So I think those are the 2 best spots right now in the moment. I think Game Over setup. He needs a lot. He'll probably Game Over setup is pretty much number dependent, but if they roll, it might be great. And I think Red's VP is like, it's road, but like the problem is like it's high production, but he's not gonna get road easily because his settlements are separated. So I think it's a little slower game for Don here. So I do like Shindy's and Jolly's setup at the moment.
Right, and Shindy has already purchased a development card. A surprisingly fast-paced game for the semifinals, which is so interesting. And as you said, Jolly Baker is likely to get himself his 3-1 spot, not going to get plowed. He dropped that road already for defense. Now about Game Over setup. So this seems to be an interesting road, because if he gets himself this 4-9-11, that's a very high production center spot. And then I'm also thinking that if he has the 6 wood, which currently is like overproducing wood a little bit comparison to his brick, if he gets on that 4 brick, it sort of balances himself out. He can maybe connect over here and sort of fight for the long road, perhaps.
I actually make a good point because I actually got a little disappointed with the settlements. I actually do think game over sub like it's like you can get real pretty easy because also having middle control in the middle of the board is pretty important in terms of like going for road. So yeah, so I do like his road setup being able to get on the 4-5-11. I think his main problem for game over setup is that the port is not great right there on the left. Is that weak port? It's just it's not strong enough to. He might be stuck with like a big hand every time. And Shindy, that's a big sell for Shindy there. Huge settle.
And an early one, I wonder if that's going to get them robbed, but they also managed to purchase presumably a nice for defense in any case. So yeah, Shindy got themselves the wood port, as you said, and they have quite a flexible setup, maybe going for or we cheap. Maybe they're just wanting to port the wood for dev card fuel. Maybe they roll a bunch of 4s and try to expand a little bit on the right.
Yeah.
About game over setup though, like one of the reasons I would really interesting this road play, in the last round, I was watching him play without streaming. He also had this sort of sneaky road setup, and he ended up getting quite a lot of space, but he also had no port, and just with big hands, he was very often stuck. But then even with 4-for-1s and also with some potential loose trades on his opponent, he did manage to squeeze a win.
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, I think that's the thing with like kind of like I guess when you're playing with more high quality, I guess you say like some people trade like very loosely towards like 1-to-1. Don't understand the value of this trade will give to somebody. So yeah, I usually if you have like such a big hand with no port, you're just hoping you don't 7 out. So and sometimes that works in your favor, but sometimes usually it does not. So.
Well, speaking of 7ing out, all players except for Shindy are now currently over the threshold of 7. Well, Jolly now gets himself a settlement on the 6-2, huge settlement with 3-to-1 port. Really rapid development for both.
Mm-hmm. The two best setups I think are the ones that are getting ahead, and that's crucial in a game like this.
Of course, this should get them robbed. But I wonder if that's even going to matter.
I think for Shindy, it's a 10 weak gets blocked. That's pretty bad. I think for Jolly though, he has say if it's 8 gets blocked. Ooh, Vidon gets a big settle there. For Jolly though, like he has like if one thing gets blocked, he has like say like the ore, the wheat to counteract, or if his ore gets blocked, he also has a brick and wood to build. So, I think for Shindy it's a little more impactful. That's a big 10 for Jolly there, and for Shindy as well. Ooh, this game's going pretty fast here.
Yeah,
lots of developing here.
But it's pretty balanced. So like all players have accomplished their number one objective, settling on some ports for everybody except Bogdan, but Bogdan gets himself this juicy center spots, and I think is currently leading in pure production, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, and he gets a city trade there. Wow. That's massive.
Yeah, so we just discussed loose trades. I don't think like the other players should have not let him get away with that.
That's massive.
Was this a 1-to-1 as well?
There's a 1-to-1. I'm not tracking the cards though. Is that city for Jolly?
It was just ore for wheat.
That was pretty loose, I'll say that too. And that's actually a great number for Bogdan there.
Yeah, and he has now an extremely flexible setup. I mean, he can either just go for something like 4 city long road, perhaps. Ooh, Jolly Baker is saying he asked for 2 cards, but
he knew it too.
Yeah, but he clicked on the offer.
He I mean, granted, I think the trade UI for BGA for Catan could be a little bit cumbersome at times, but you kind of accept it. He kind of clicked yes.
Yeah.
So that's my ouch. That's just massive, and especially if if Bogdan gets like a 6 or 9 here, well, that's a point roll there. So,
Well,
but
now we're probably going to see the 9 blocked. So this one thing is like Bogdan is ahead, of course, with his city, but then he
yeah,
is going to get robbed to death, I assume. And because of the inflexibility, because he doesn't have a port, he could have some clunky hands. And without the 9 wheats, he's going to have some difficulty developing his setup further.
yeah, you make a good point here because like it's also too like when his numbers roll, like sometimes we figure like coordinate numbers, how powerful are they? And for Bogdan, his sixes is wood and ore, which doesn't really like synergize well, and his free is brick and sheep, which also doesn't synergize well. So like that's the thing. His 9 is blocked, so like a lot of stuff he can do, which is like buy development cards or try to build roads. He needs like 2 different roles to get it, and so like it with his 9 being blocked, it's gonna lead to infinite chance. But that's a great 7 there.
Oh, and on his turn, that's great. So
On
he's
his
even going to
turn,
get a
yes.
free card. So interesting. What do you block here as blue? I mean, certainly 8
I,
brick makes sense. Was a very quick decision.
it was a very quick decision because Vedant's on 8, so yeah. Watch out for Shindy though, because he's getting a little bit under repped here. So um yeah, because I mean Vendaga is able to build pretty quick though, so that's crazy. He gets brickport and woodport. So I mean that's the understandable block. Just Shindy's getting. Oh, I feel like Shindy's also he's getting like this is perfect timing for him because like he's not getting blocked, and I think his sub is actually the most likely to explode here. So we get another 5 here. So I don't know if we're at the point right now where we're kind of at like the tipping point right now because I still think it's a pretty balanced game here too. But it's kind of it is basically now. I feel like if 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 Game Over could get some 6s and 9s to buy some development cards, then I think the game could be in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, well, currently, I don't remember the 9s having rolled, at least not recently, not
No,
after it
not
was
recently, no.
unblocked.
So
And
you still
so I wonder what could be like Game Over's next objective here, because you sort of need to advance your setup. Like, do you go to the wheat port, even though you might not actually ever use the wheat port, because you probably need the wheat as is? Do you try and maybe go a little bit further to the 3/8 just to aim for all that juicy production and then look to connect the roads later? Or maybe do you even go all the way to the 411 trying to get a 3/1 port and more number diversity?
if he could get to the 3-1, that would be big. It's just the problem is like if he needs to have 3 roads, and Vedant has like good amount of road production. Granted, his 8 brick is blocked to cut him off to that 3-1. So if he puts 2 roads out there, that's just very That's not It basically is. It just like it reveals her hand and basically like it basically alerts Vedant to basically go to that 3-1 and plow him there. So, but yeah, and gets more wood there too. So yeah, I think for Game Over, just buy some devs and just be efficient. The eight's a little the 8 is a little bit inefficient in terms of like building 1 extra road, which you can't really waste. And look at that, he's building towards there anyway. So I think that I think we're
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, yeah, he realized how important that 4-1 is. So that 3-1 is for Game Over. So yeah, very smart play there.
Yeah, so he's not at risk of getting plowed there anymore. And also I'm thinking like if he goes over here, then of course he doesn't he's not gonna get an extra port because red is already on 3-1, but he's gonna get that 11 wood, he's gonna double that on the 4, and he's currently on already 2 brick hexes. He's gonna be on 2 wood hexes and possibly looking to contest Bogdan for that longest road, maybe looping all the way around and getting to that 6-11 if we dare dream.
I mean, you could dare to dream. I think that's actually better to go there. Yeah, it just right now he doesn't. his next objective is probably either settle and then just try to save up for a city. Yeah, and that's the thing though. Like with especially that 8 being blocked, and it just rolled recently, so that's like an ore loss. He needs to save up as many ores as possible to city up because like he's probably not gonna get army. He could go for the double play, what we talk about in terms of like the army and longest road. That might be his probably shortest path to win, but very unlikely. So I think right now his problem. Like he could settle, but like he needs to save it for a city because like how is he gonna get the 10 points without a city? So
yeah, and then for cities you're gonna need that 8, which is currently blocked. So really not a great situation. And also addressing that block earlier. So I think one of the ways how this decision was made after this 8 is blocked, then blue is the one who controls all the brick. He's on both of the remaining brick hexes. So whenever a brick card is rolled, blue makes sure that he's getting one of them.
Shouldn't he, I think, get a settle? That's a pretty good. Oh, that's a great settle.
Oh, that's a huge settle. 6-11, 4 points, some nice production for his 4th settle. Now
But look at that's a huge 8. I think does he have ore? Does Game have ore to dev here? That'll be huge.
I don't remember 6 being rolled recently.
I don't think so too.
But what are his other cards then?
It's a brick, 2 sheep, whatever he stole, and he's getting some brick. He's been getting some brick. So it's 2 sheep, 3 brick, and 2 wheat, and something he stole from Jolly, which I don't know. So because it was a bit of 3, a couple 4s, and 9 just recently rolled. So I think he might be stuck here, which is kind of probably we talked about. He has a pretty stuck hand right now.
Yeah, so is he looking to just hold, or is he looking to 4 for 1? And what do you even 4 for 1 for?
If you got 4 for 1 sheep, that's bad. Or brick might not be too bad, but yeah, he might be just stuck.
Well, I presume he's going to try and spit out a trade or something.
Yeah,
he's looking for an ore. I don't think anybody's going to give him.
Nobody should give that ore that cheaply. Yeah, exactly.
In the meantime,
I don't think anybody has ore.
Just reading the chat here. Hi, Pichan. Hi, Andres. Saying that in this game 4 is absolutely the best number because it rolls so much. Well, there is a bit of variance in Catan. Probably in the long term, you never know when this 4 does stop rolling. One thing interesting about the 4 is that it is coordinated roads. Now, nobody is on both 4s, so nobody can get that coordinated road, but maybe if, let's say, 2 players are behind, they could team up. If a bunch of 4s are rolled, then a bunch of brick for wood trades could be happening, maybe between orange and red, for example, or between blue and red if blue falls behind a little bit later on, which is not unrealistic given the fact that he's having his stuck hand right now.
Yeah, it actually is. Shindy actually has all the power in terms of like being able to trade, but you do bring a good point. There's nobody like on both 4s, but it's coordinated enough where it could lead to some future trades where if we need to transfer road from a game over to Vedant, then Shindy kind of has all the power to do that because I don't think Shindy's going for road. I think he's going for basically high production and probably army as well. So, but yeah, I think this is a pretty stuck hand here. It is 51%. So if you had the chance here to pass, so I'm saying 51. So he does pass. It's 51%. But never mind. It was 51% that it could come back to term in 07, but never mind. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like 50-50, it's a reasonable gamble. Actually, maybe he didn't even have a 4 for 1. Maybe like his hand was like 3 sheep, 2 wheat, 3 brick, maybe something like this.
Something like that, yeah, but.
So what is he? Wait. Was that a mistake? Bogdan just discarded 2 wheat. He discarded 2 brick, 2 wheat.
I think you save 1 wheat because you just need a dev here. Even a sheep you probably discard. I would honestly discard the 3 brick and 3 brick on 1 wheat here. Because now now instead of relying on well, never mind again.
Never mind. Here's the
I
9.
was saying he needs a 9 and a 6 to buy a dev now, but he got the 9 at least, so I guess that worked out perfectly.
So now time for a 6, I guess. In the meantime,
Yeah.
Verdant is porting for an ore and getting himself a dev, trying to catch up with Shindy, who has already what's presumably a Knight Unseen.
I think it's twofold, just like looking for like a pretty cool dev, say like Gear Plenty or Monopoly especially, but also too just looking for protection for the 8. So. Oh my God! Second time,
and he 7s out again just after he rolled more sheep and more brick. Like that's 3.
That's awful. Doesn't it suck when like the rolls you need, especially at 3 for game over, is so helpful, but you're just over. I mean, it kind of goes back. He does have a 3-to-1 port, so yeah, that's
And he almost wishes that like 3 hadn't rolled, because he ends up gaining 3 cards and then losing 4 from it.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, he does get a rob from red, and at least blocking the 8 temporarily. I mean, I presume that after 2 turns, the knight is going to go back somewhere else, on blue potentially.
Yeah, I would probably hit. Well, Shindy's also getting there too, so you just have to be careful here. It's kind of dependent on what. Oh, that's a painful roll. That's 4 brick lost for Vedant.
In the meantime, Shindy just passing. Wait, oh no, that wasn't Shindy. You know, like
No,
it
it's
just,
Jolly.
Yeah, that's Jolly's turn, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, white is just the collateral damage here, even though they still have a lot of development to do for their setup. I mean, this side-by-side can be pretty nice, like they're gonna get themselves the sheep port, but they're also losing brick as a side effect of red getting blocked as well.
Yeah.
Now a sheep for literally everybody. This 5.
Bah.
Yeah, I know, I should have prepared better with some like sheep graphic or something like this. And some sound effects.
I can't see your screen right now, but let me check it out. Yeah. Let's see. Let me check out your stream here, but yeah.
So, Shindy's turn now, and a 9 rolled again, and Bogdan is again at 8 cards. So I wonder what's going to roll later on. Now, a 2-for-1 trades. Interesting. Jolly Baker.
He must have so much weed from the 9.
Yeah, because
or the 2.
He gave away 2 wheat for just 1 ore, not on his turn.
Yeah, the 6 hasn't been rolling too, so that's kind of the problem too.
Yeah, it seems that maybe this trade gave him a city already. I'm not sure. I'm like not really good at tracking, so this is also why it's great to have you here. Because like whenever I play a game of Catan, I feel like the first 3 orbits I can track, and then later on I kind of just have no idea who has what.
Well, it's also just focusing on one player too. It's just like it's basically remembering roles, but also if you're focused on one player, you tend to like know what hands they have. Like I think we've been following Game Over's hand a lot, so. We've been kind of knowing his hand, but Jolly. The thing is, like, there's been no 6s. there's been no 6s really. So I think that's like only his 1 or 2 wood here. But is this a settle for Game Over here?
I'm not sure. Well, given how often the 9 has been rolling, maybe having himself a port is not such a bad idea. But no, I guess that was just the only actionable turn, and then he'll decide later whether to settle on the port or to go for the 3-8.
I think the 8's doesn't really help your hand, to be honest. That's a good 11 though. But you need to find something out. Yeah, I don't like the 8. It's just actually it's not really helpful.
That's
Go ahead.
No, that's so interesting, because like that's the first instinct to go there, because it just looks so pretty. But now that you'd say, yeah, it makes total sense. It just sort of clogs your hand with more ore, which you can't spend, and you need to 4-for-1 anyway, and it spends an extra road. Yeah.
And if the 9 overrolls, you actually missed out on big port. So yeah, I think ideally like you would get the wheat port and then maybe get a road building to get the 8-3. If not, that's no big deal. So, I mean, ideally you could just get down to the 8, like if possible. But yeah,
Yeah, that's actually
um,
doable. Like you go here, then you get more two roads or a road building or something. Then you get yourself a 3-1 port finally,
yeah,
and then you connect and you win. So this would be all our Romanian fans' dreams, I guess. In the
yeah.
meantime, Jolly Baker is trying to hustle for some ores in the trades. Well, I guess this interface is maybe not the best for following the streams, but I will try and announce the trades as they occur. But if you can see in the bottom right corner, if you can see that at all, you actually see the trade offers. Most of them are rejected. Shindy is now trying to offer an ore to Jolly for 2 cards, not something that White appears to be interested in.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs to get going, and anytime he passes a turn right now, it's an issue. So
Yeah, and then he also like doesn't even have the benefit from being the player who's perceived behind, because like typically if you're behind, players maybe don't block you so much. He's still getting blocked on that 8 as a collateral damage to red.
oh, again, that's sick. That's I mean, that's more impactful for Don, because that's six brick, which is basically creates a six free ore there. So that's a huge block. So, but oh, there
Very early Monopoly.
he got the mono that he needed. Yeah, like I said, he was trying to get. If he gets it, so I will say that this is not. So, oh, but is he just deving?
Yeah, double
For two
deving.
devs?
I guess he's just
I
really
guess
trying
it's
to get his game going.
Or yeah, just to get some knights here. If he gets knights, that's fine. But I think just game for 2 devs, I think that's a major relief for the players. But the thing is, I think you only got ore from Shindy, so I guess it prevented a dev. But I think the other players are relieved that happened instead of like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
at
guess
least
he's
intuitively, it does seem like really, really early Monopoly. But that's what you have as a result of like this frustration
yeah.
of getting blocked. You really want to have those actionable hands, and well, now he's gonna get something going. But I feel like in this position, it's such a wet board. Like you can wait for a couple of cities. You have your 9, you have your 8, you have your 6, and especially since you're an 8 yourself. So imagine if that like 8 gets unblocked. And that could be like a wheat for you or something. Then
yeah.
a bunch of 8 roll, you steal all the ores from orange and you get like 2 cities. But unblocking himself?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my opinion, just like I feel like with that, like you just have to be a little more patient, because like if you could get army, maybe is good, but like yeah, I feel like he could have. Yeah, I felt like Vedant could get a little more value with that mono there, but because like it'll eventually get off him. So, and I think with mono too is like when you see people like getting cities too, like then you get more value with mono because you can potentially get more stuff with it too. So, yeah, it's a tough road. I get he's trying to make sure he doesn't get fall behind, but yeah, we'll see how this works out. This mono works out.
In the meantime, Blue is with another stuck hand, trying to hustle for some trades, and just decides to do a 4-for-1, spending 5 weeks on 1 dev card.
A little painful, but finally gets a dev card.
Yeah. And actually, this dev card could probably allow him to just keep that knight on that 8, keep that robber on the 8. But I wonder if soon it will be Shindy who's going to become the block rather than Vedant, because Shindy is now about to settle on his 5th settlement, double up on the 8 ore, gets himself a 3-1 port, and a very, very flexible setup for the future.
Yeah, to be honest, I do like his setup a lot more. So especially if he gets an 8, I think he should be the block. But it also depends on night pacing and road too. So that's all the things you have to factor too. But I think right now, we're not worried about road just yet. So I think you just have to worry about who could get the biggest production, which I think is Shindy right now. So, but if Verdun could get some road and potentially win quickly, then maybe, or get Army, maybe the target might shift. So we'll see. Is Jolly trying to save up? He needs to save up to get some stuff. No, what? He doesn't move it? What depth did he got?
Does he really not have?
I guess not.
2 VPs? Another mono?
I guess,
a road building?
I guess it worked out, but like it's also kind of the worst timing too.
Well,
it's a year of plenty, so okay.
That's sort of like a downgrade from a mono, really. Because you spend a
really
mono to get yourself real or plenty.
You basically, and a settle, and well,
and the
if
city,
you
I
settle
presume?
city, maybe. Okay,
Yeah.
so it might have been 2 points anyway. So hey, look at Verdun. He's actually in a great spot here. So now it's the target is transferred to him. But yeah, it's kind of wild too, and that freeze is still rolling.
But that's funny how that year of plenty yielded a much more productive turn than the monopoly itself.
Mm-hmm.
So very efficient use
did.
of resources.
It's crazy to think it was. I mean, granted, it's still you buying free cards to get 2, but for Verdun, it's 2 rare cards. So yeah. I mean, you got 2 points out of it. So I mean, so you could look at mono in terms of like what it did, but like if it actually advanced your game, then it was still a good mono. So, but for Verdun, it kind of did accelerate his game big time. So.
Like, if he wins this game, it's going to be like the most genius monopoly ever because it's like so counterintuitive, just 4 it like looks wrong, but then his setup is really great, and it's also quite difficult to stop because it's super flexible. So he's on the brick port, so now an 8 is a free card, but then he's also on the 3-1 port, so a 9 is a free card, and it's only possible to block just one of his free cards at a time. He's getting solo blocked on the 9 by Shindy here, but then this means that the 8 is finally open for him. Yeah,
it's very flexible right now. So, but he's not at a 6, and finally it's rolled. So,
well, I guess does this mean a city? Because Bogdan did spend all his wheat on a dev card recently. No, okay, he first gets his port and the 5th point. And
it's kind of weird. Okay, so he does dev, which makes it a little bit scary. Because I would suggest like this Bogdan part. Okay,
double dev,
which is honestly the path he should do. Is just the problem right now is I think the table needs him to go for road. Maybe Jolly could go for road. That might be the thing here. But I was thinking, does Bogdan go for just connect here and try to fight off road? But I think this is kind of the right decision here. Go for devs and have Jolly try to go for road here.
But you know what? He just got himself 3 devs. One of those could easily be a road building. We haven't had a road building being played.
Nope.
And then he just needs to build 1 natural road, for which I believe he might already have the materials. And, well, I mean, obviously he can't, because he has 0 cards, but he could roll easily, like a 6 and a 3 or something. And then he's suddenly at, 7 roads, and it's not easy for Reds to try and go for some sneaky road play.
Yeah, I think the problem, I feel like you have to time it unless you needed to save the game. I mean, the problem is with Verdun. Could Verdun win here? No, I don't think he can. So I think there is gonna be some trading here to get Jolly connect. No, he's got a city instead, which is fine.
He really wants to be efficient. He's kind of a little bit behind, but now it's a great city on the highest producing spot on the board. His sheep now is 1.5 card, basically, with a sheep port. And now maybe he's looking for like 1 more city and then road connect or something. Verdun is now getting a 7, blocking the 6 ore, and can only steal from Jolly, of course.
Oh, but he clicked the wrong person. Oh no!
Oh no!
He clicked the wrong person.
So he stole the 0 cards from Bogdan. Oh, this is...
Whoops.
So, actually, Ben, I wonder, like, in a real-life tournament, is such a situation possible? Like, if you say, I robbed from you, and then you say, and then the other person says, I have 0 cards. Like,
but since it's...
do you get...
Go ahead.
Like, do you get to rob again, or is that considered, like, an irrevocable mistake?
You get to rob again. If you realize they don't have 0 cards, you get to rob again. So technically, they should automatically rob somebody when somebody's 0 cards. But at the meantime, though, Shindy, that's a very bad 7 there for Shindy there.
Yeah, well, if they're now thinking what to discard, they will have to discard 5 precious cards. And then they're also going to be thinking who to block. So I guess it is still Vedant, but then on the other hand, Bogdan with 3 down devs, and he's also the army competitor now in all likelihood, and that's why he goes for blue.
I think that's the right block. Because Vedant doesn't have a quick win here, so I think that's the right block.
Well, so... if I'm orange, I'm feeling like much more calm about this game if just Jolly takes the road first.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like, it's actually a pretty balanced game, but I think for Shindy here, like, he needs a Jolly to take road here.
So Bogdan is starting to play his knights.
So here's the thing about that block. I think I will block 9 wheat, because you actually need Jolly to get road stuff. Granted, he has the sheep port. Well, he has road stuff there, but yeah, I think 9 wheat's better. There.
From whose perspective?
I think Bogdan's perspective here, because
you mean the self block?
No, 9 wheat, down to the bottom right.
Oh, that 9 wheat. Oh, the other 9 wheat. Oh, I just completely ignoring that corner of the board.
You mentioned it too. Yeah, and I mean, because like that's still a free card. I still think you need Jolly to have road material, even though they're both equal. I still think though, but does he go for connect here? I think they might have to.
So, like, the interesting thing about this block, so I think because Bogdan chose 8 brick over 9 wheat, I think he must be perceiving himself to be in a good position because it's sort of a variance reducing block. Because let's say you're not on an 8, and you're assuming, and you're getting yourself some insurance against 8 rolling a lot. And maybe he's thinking that, well, if the 9 rolls, and if my opponent gets 9, then the 9 wheat, then at the very least I have a compensation for 2 wheat of my own.
You could say that too. I mean, that's if you have a number, like you probably want to block, but you probably want to block the other number so you could benefit more from that number. But like you said, like that 8's blocked, but there's an 8 ore down there that Shindy benefits. So, I mean, granted, Shindy's a little bit behind, so that just makes a little more sense. But it's still a 2 ore for Shindy. That's pretty valuable here too.
In the meantime, Jolly on his turn is really trying to hustle for trades. They are at 7 cards, and I don't believe they have any thing that they can do on this turn. Their next route, I would presume, is probably a city, or what do you do first? Do you connect first? Do you try and build on the 2-5? Really, like, it's just difficult for me to see any immediate ideas for Jolly here.
It's 2-5. That's fine too. I think you don't need to connect unless you really need to. Ooh, that's not good though.
Well, I mean, he gets to lose 4 cards, but then he gets to move the knight.
I think
the robber rather.
He gets to move the robber, but I think he's looking for card efficiency there. So yeah, that's I think that's the worst part. So.
Oh, interesting. So he's blocking blue, but he's stealing from white. What do you make of that steal, Ben?
That's fine. I think that's a real competition, so that's fine. I think that's the right decision here too. You gotta watch out for Shindy though. He's getting unblocked, but he's not getting blocked. But I think he's at least 1 short from a city. The 8 and 10 just rolled, but does he have enough to port? But he should. Let me see here. Oh, he's looking. Yes, there's a bunch of wheat. So people. Oh my God, that's a city there.
Wait, so 2 wood for 3 wheat. So that's, of course, he ports for...
Okay, so he would have gotten that anyway. So he would... Oh, he buys a dove.
That's interesting.
To try to pays for army, which I don't... It might work out because Bogdan doesn't have an army. He doesn't have a knight, apparently.
But then what does he have? Is this the second mono? Are these 2 VPs? In which case, like if these are 2 VPs, for example, then his win condition could change a lot. Maybe a city and road, something like this.
I mean, it could be going sneak road here too. I mean, if he gets another VP here, then it could be a road sneak possibility. Might be a little hard, but we'll see here because you have 2 different road competitions. That freak just keeps rolling though.
So white now does not get anything from that 3 and is looking what to do with 8 cards.
I think the big worry might now be settle 1 road built and VP the win for Vedant. Does he have the hand to do that?
Okay, settle and 1 road. So that'll be 9 points.
And so VP.
Oh, and a VP, right? So he could pull.
Yeah, he could pull. Yes.
But then, so there are 15 development cards in the deck. We're presuming that Shindy has 1 VP, and Bogdan probably has at least 1. So there might be 3 or 2 VPs remaining in the deck. So that's 20% chance or less.
Still pretty good odds.
Yeah, still something that you don't want to give up to your opponents.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you kind of just risk that. Because 20% is still like, if a 20% event happens, that's what can you do? I mean, but that number helps.
Oh, that's a huge 8. 13 cards for Vedant and the flexible setup with 2 ports.
What does he do here? Does he actually do the situation?
So a settle for 7. And he could pull for the win, no? If he has like 1 road?
He could. I don't know if a 3 is rolled. I think he's a bunch of brick. I don't know if a 4 is rolled, but he definitely has some stuff left over. The port.
Even if you don't get the VP, by the way.
He's trying,
yeah. Even if you don't get the VP, there's a lot of good stuff left in there.
There is. I mean, Knight could also be... Does he build a road?
Nope.
No, he passes. That was sense.
So now, why does he not build the road? Did he pull a VP but simply doesn't have the road materials, or did he just not pull a VP?
Yeah, I don't think if you didn't pull the VP, then why sound the alarm? You know, oh, there's a second mono.
So what is gonna mono? Gets 9 wheat.
Yeah, that's... I mean, that's a good mono, but what can he do with it? He does have ore in his hand.
Well,
that's
oh my God, see 5 a city.
5 wheat. Yikes. It's definitely I feel like for Shindy's city. I think he's lost the battle for armies. So if he ports for devs here, I think that's... Yeah. So don't you hate that when like you model stuff like, oh, here's some wheat. Do you want it?
Yeah, but like, don't you hate when another player actually accepts that trade?
Yes, he got it though.
Unbelievable.
He's going for devs here, but why? I don't think he should go for devs.
Maybe that's why Bogdan accepted that trade. Maybe he figured that from his perspective, it's not a good strategy for Orange, and so he just let that happen.
Yeah, I think Shindy needs to city and then like use that production to get points that way. I mean, granted, it is win or bust. So if Shinji thinks that this is okay, so he gets the dev in city. So he had two. So okay, so he had one left over. He had enough to do. Okay, I guess that's a fine play. So good value for. Okay, so good value for. I thought he was gonna go for devs to. Okay, he rolls back. He has one ore left over. Oh, he does buy another dev. Oh, I thought he was a Scythian dev. I guess that's his only path. If Bogdan doesn't have a knight, smart move. If he does have two knights, you kind of screwed both of you guys over.
Well, we know that Bogdan has one knight at most because he otherwise would have played it in the last orbit.
Okay, free devs is still a pretty good. Free devs is a really good model at this stage too, but.
So I guess he does indeed going for army.
Does he have another ore? I don't think he's another ore.
Yeah, that's why they canceled their move. That's also an interesting feature on Board Game Arena that they added relatively recently, that you can actually undo some actions. I don't think it's the case on other platforms.
No.
Or real life, for that matter.
No, yeah, you can't. Once your card touches, like, say, like the deck in an in-person tournament, that card is basically dead. You have to use it.
55 seconds on his clock remaining. Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't hurt to offer.
It doesn't hurt. I mean, people be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
What is this?
Like, you'd be surprised at some trades that just gets accepted. Like, all you gotta do is try.
Yeah, you definitely have to. I'll agree with that, but I think he overcomplicated, because I don't think two devs was like the ideal play there. I thought he was gonna go for city, but he's running out of time.
Yeah, with 15 seconds on his clock, now this is the time to ask you the question as the tournament organizer. So what are the clock rules? If he times out, is that a loss or not yet?
No, for that, it's like we don't want people to go way over, but like if he goes to the clock like right now, then like he needs to actually make a move right now. So like if he goes over, yeah, he's fine. But
when you get yourself after every trade, you sort of get yourself a few seconds extra for time bank.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's thinking about his move though.
So I know that in live tournaments, if I'm not mistaken, if a game goes too long, then just you get like 1 minute per turn or something, and there's the organizer standing with a phone over you. Is that the case?
Yeah, usually you get turn timers though. So, we might tell Shenny to make a move right now, and yeah, he's taking a while.
So somebody's typing something in the chat.
Yeah.
And they just decided to pass. No, they did not.
He's making.
Actually, you know, like on this interface, it's pretty interesting. Like you can spit out a trade offer as a way to save time, because unlike some other platforms, like on Board Game Arena, when you spit off a trade, then your opponent's time starts running because they need to make a decision whether to accept the trade or not.
Yeah, so he's fine now. I mean, like I said, we do a lot of people like a little leniency because like it is a big game, but yeah, that was going over time. So, but look at that. What does Bogdan have for devs?
Well, apparently not a knight. I don't know, 3 VPs? Road building? Well, definitely not a mono. Both monopolies have been played, and he accepted a trade, so he gave 2 sheep to Shindy for the price of 2 wheat.
But he doesn't have a hand. He needs an ore to dev.
Yeah, so then I presume if he accepted the trade, he would have an actionable hand right now. Okay, he does have a knight.
But I don't get why you don't play it.
Yeah, should have played before rolling, it seems.
Yeah.
And I was gonna steal from reds. I wonder if Shindy gonna sneak by, because like you don't know what orange's devs are. For all we know, he could be the one with VPs. Although based on his timing, okay, now we see that Bogdan gets himself an ore and presumably gonna buy a dev. And yes.
That's why the wheat port was so important, because he wouldn't, if he went to A3, he wouldn't be able to do that port. And that, yeah, so with that port, that's huge. Oh, but Jolly, he's the one that now 7's out.
Yeah, that will put him back quite a lot, as he's currently, well, also on 5 points as everybody else, but doesn't have any devs. He has good ports, but that's about it. And who does he block here? That's a great question, actually.
That's fine. I think that's a tricky spot. Who shouldn't he get stolen here? I think. Well, you have to know what Vedant's hand is. He has 2 wheat. I think that's fine. I think it actually should have been blue, but the Shindy with 3 devs is also pretty scary there too. So.
And he's also thinking of forcing Shindy to play a knight or not play a knight just to get some information of those dev cards. That 5 sheep block is also pretty interesting, because then white is the only one who benefits from a 5 roll.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, for Jolly, though, I think he just wants that benefit for the 5 anyways, so I think just having the 5 on block is very flexible. So, but yeah, Jolly's road has gone. I thought he was the second best out, but like his games got really slow, especially with no 6 rolling and not be able to city efficiently. His game got a little slower. So, yeah, but yeah, he's still trying to hustle there too. So,
and actually, he has like in his position, he probably should hustle, because as the perceived player behind, he might get himself some more favorable trades compared to other players. Still, nobody bites. Shindy is offering to donate a wheat for the price of a sheep. I'm not sure if that does anything for Jolly Baker. And probably he really doesn't want to give away sheep in order to not let other players buy dev cards. That's also must have been his intention behind the 5 block. So no trade occurs.
I mean, that 7 was crucial. It kind of wrecked. What did he discard here? Yeah, it pretty much wrecked his hand with wrecked his hand with wood. So pretty bad. I think he was trying to solo there too, but maybe does he get to connect here? He just gets a small. He just prevents the 5. So, but there's a 10. That's a big roll for Jolly. Just like to say, we also the rest of the semifinals have happened. Well, say congratulations to CC, Sylvia CC, Kong King Luke, and Pig Geo Piglet. One of the players we mentioned. They're in the finals here. They're waiting for this semifinal to happen here. So we have 3 of the 4 finalists in MSO. So
CC, Geo Piglet, and
Kong. Oh, MSO. Kong King Luke. So. Ooh, bad 7 for Shindy.
Well, at the very least, it's on their turn.
Yes.
And now they're going to think ages about what to discard, so it's also a question of how long they'd be allowed to think about that one. It's also quite not a very difficult choice. They do discard... What do they discard?
Wheat and free brick, and that's a fine choice.
Yeah.
I think just to get a card. I might argue... I guess he wants to see a card from red, so that's why. But...
Yeah, look at this Shindy with the self block. Apparently, they want to prevent Vedant from buying dev cards.
It is dev info, but yeah,
Shindy's now trying to hustle for some trades, offering 2 wheat for 2 wood. I wonder what does he need the wood for? I guess I presume that wood is just a free card for him. So he hopes to use it as a sheep to buy a dev, I guess.
That's I guess he wants more devs, but I don't. Yeah, I think he's in a tough spot here. So, I mean, I feel like he should have said he did. I don't think he. I get he kind of hustles to get devs there and maybe pays for army, but he just needs to get more devs. But it still might be a problem here. He's trying to. He's trying to get a dev here. That's a dev offer. So he gets saved for. He was trying to find for Jolly, but I don't think that's a clog of Jolly's hand here. Yeah, passes there.
Okay, now the moment of truth. Did Bogdan pull a knight? Because...
Yes. That's huge.
They get himself the army pacing, so now Shindy will need to play 2 knights in order to overtake army. And I don't think he even has 2 knights. I think he has 1 at most, because one of those dev cards has to be a VP.
Yeah.
And so that's why Bogdan doesn't even bother blocking his army competitor. He just simply... He steals from Jolly, though.
I think that's right. I mean, it's a wood, so it's not... I don't think it would be great, but I think that's right. Especially the 8 being... The 8 also, like, kind of just, like, holding up Jolly a bit here, too. But that's a huge 6. So I think a 9 might be game for Bogdan. Actually, no, not yet. Except he might still wood. If he stole ore, maybe, but
so Bogdan could be at 9. He's probably at 9, right?
He could be a 9. He could be at 8, probably 8 at least. But that's more ore. So now 9 is definitely winning.
Jolly connecting the road. I think it actually makes sense. You know why I like this move from Jolly? Because Bogdan could have a road building, and now that White has 8 roads, Bogdan's connect over here would only yield him 7. So then a road building has become kind of useless for Bogdan because he's not getting longest road and he's not even getting himself with settlement spots. Well, I guess he has only this.
But also, unless they coordinated this, that's not a good... Vidon's hoping Shindy has a knight, because that's not... I don't think that's the right blocking spot. Okay, maybe it was. I guess not, but it just frees it to 9. That's the problem. So, there's the road building. Yeah, that's not a good card for Shindy, though.
Wait, where's it gonna go, though? Just on the ore port? On the desert?
Yeah, I guess, but that's just, that's why that wasn't good.
Yeah, that's probably wasn't the worst pull for him because he can't fight for road.
Yeah, and I think Vedant needed to coordinate it with Shindy there, so you have a knight. Because the problem is now the 9 is now a winning roll more than likely. So we'll see. Yeah, you kind of need to coordinate with Shindy there to say, do you have a knight so you can move to the 9? So that makes more sense there. Before, so they survived that roll.
It says a brick, which probably just means a road to open a settlement spot on this 6 ore.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Because if Bogdan is at 9, he can either city or he can get a settlement.
He has different options. I would definitely try to use, if he has a brick, use it. He has 4 ore. He has 4 ore. Oh, he has a road in hand, but with 4 ore. So it could be versatile enough, but yeah, that's just tragic. No one's good. No one in their right mind will do that.
Actually, that's a question for you as a tournament organizer. Like, would that even be legal for them to do that? Because you have to assume that your opponent can win. So, like, if somebody were to give them that trade, would you even accept that as a result?
It is more if basically if somebody wants to say the game is over, or like the rules say for like king making. That's why we call it too. Yeah, it's pretty visible, like what that is. So, like, in my opinion, that would be. I have to like look at the whole situation. That's the thing, though. You have to know the people's intent and that stuff. But yeah, that if people accept that looks like kingmaker to me, from point of view there. So.
Yeah. So the trade offered by Blue was 3 ore for 2 brick. But that's interesting. He asked for 2 brick rather than 1. So I would presume that if he were able to just road settle for a win, he would have asked for just 1 brick. So if he's asking for 2 brick, does he actually have the road building? And then this second brick was simply to get himself to 9 roads as opposed to 8.
I think that's applying road building there. So, because he does technically have two wood in hand with the 4 ore. So if he would connect, that would be 7. Would that be 8? So we don't know, but we'll see how he does here. I think just let him be.
So
he's trying to set that up. So
yeah, so he doesn't even bother with a settlement spot. Okay, so he definitely has a road building, I would presume, because otherwise, why would you? Or maybe not. No. Of course, it has to be a road building, right? Because then he's at 8.
I feel like it has to be. I feel like that's applying road building. It's just like, why would you build a road there? Yeah, why would you build a road there? That's applying road building.
Well, you could also sort of make the argument that maybe you're building the road there just to put yourself under 7, but then why not build on the one viable settlement spot on the 6?
Yeah, that I feel like you just need to go for settlement spots because like if people see that they're just. It's pretty obvious from the trades. They're trying to go for longest road, trying to stiffen out. It's probably a road building, which, to be honest, just use a road building for the settlement spot. You get you closer. So, but Shindy gets a trade here. Jolly, just settle for Jolly.
But then also as Jolly, you want to extend. Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh yeah,
you really don't want to prevent this.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good roller for Jolly. That's some needed wheat there for Settle. It's also good for Jolly because like he could get there too. So it's 2. Is Vedant close? Oh, we've been forgetting about Vedant here, but he's close.
Vedant is at 9.
He could be at 9, yeah.
And he's at just a monster production.
Yeah.
This extension really hurt Blue. Okay, who does orange block? It's so not obvious. So Bogdan is not very close because he's sort of playing face up with his road building. So is this red?
That's a tough decision. Red needs. He can still road settle down. He still has 1 settlement. It's not great. That's actually need to be if you want to block the 9. That's actually a tough decision. I think that's right. Okay, doubles blocks. So block now. Do you block 9? Okay, that's fine. I think it's a tough decision. I think you go for the especially there. Especially there, I think you go for the player going for your win condition here too. But let's see what the other players do here.
I wonder if he can now ask the table to like hustle for army because we assume that Shindy has a VP, so he still needs to purchase an ice to place on the next turn.
Yeah.
So that would be in whose interest though? To give Shindy army. I guess in nobody's necessarily because only Bogdan is fighting him for army.
I'm actually wondering why you don't give Shindy army here, but he could be at. Well, he's just at 8 when Bogdan could be at 8, probably 9. So I guess Crossroad 2 Bogdan is told like he has a VP, so he gets a road there. Okay, that's fine. So Jolly gets a road out of it, and let's see. I mean, if that's a knight, that's huge. to an 11. Who does that help?
Oh, that's a
that
huge
helps.
roll. So what can Bogdan do? Does he have enough resources to city? I don't think he does with the 9
There's
blocked.
no wheat. There's no wheat. No.
Yeah, and he was also robbed.
He just has a lot of ore. Also robbed twice. He also has a lot of ore, so he might have probably got ore out of his hand.
So if he does have a road building, then his chances do look pretty grim because he's only at 8 and it's very difficult for him to take road. But then I was wondering, like, this move over here, although it implies road building, do you like ever bluff and play this road so that your opponents think that you have road building, but you actually have a VP and then you're at 9?
But you could do that, but like you instead of but trying to bluff, you also you're missing out on a settlement there. I mean, sometimes like deceiving people, like I think in terms of bluffing, like you talk about, say, like if say common questions, do you have like this card? Do you have a mono? And or you so do you or you're gonna mono me back this hand? So I think that's more bluffing here too. But like when you see something like this, but like you could be more fishy, but like you have a settlement there, you're kind of just wasting your resources to try to deceive people. So I think that like he needs to get his points quick as possible here too. So, but he gets a 6 there. He has more ore.
Vedant cannot win right yet and just passes immediately. In the meantime, Jolly with 8 points already. He can also sneak in a city with a couple of rolls. So don't discount the Finn.
No, he's somehow getting back in this game here, but you just hope that Vedant doesn't get any rolls here. Both models have been played.
And now the big question, did Shinzi pull a knight? Will he be taking over army?
No, it doesn't look like, which makes it even scarier.
Or is he just slow rolling?
I hope not.
So what could be this dev? I mean, certainly could be a VP perhaps. He is trying to buy himself another dev. He's really hoping that there's another orbit for him to take over knights.
That's kind of hope. Well, that's a big 2, but does Bogdan have it?
He does have 12 cards. None of them are road building materials. Can he port enough?
Is this road?
Oh, it's his road! It's his road! He's porting 8 ores for 2 bricks. And he used the road building.
So wait, so let's see. Is it actually enough? So that's 5. Oh, he does have enough, I think. That's 5. He does have enough. Oh my god, no way.
Unbelievable. He has an 8. And now
I guess I was wrong.
Does he have the final road? He has the final road and the win!
That's crazy. He wins.
What a win! Bogdan Kurkam, the 4th finalist.
That's
by
crazy.
sneaking in a long road.
I guess I was wrong.
And all that because Shinzi couldn't pull a knight from the deck.
Yes. Yes, that's crazy. What did he pull, actually? That is crazy. Congrats to Bogdan for winning that game here.
So that wasn't a VP. And it could not have been a road building because the road building has been played. So it must have been a Yop.
It must have been a Yop, yeah.
The one remaining Yop, like the 1 in 10 chance or something. Yes. Or 1 in 9 chance.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow.
So, but congrats to Bogdan, man. That's the finals. We have Pig, Bogdan, see, Sisu, and let's see, what's the 4th person here? I forgot. I apologize about that.
The screen name with a K. The screen name, like the long screen name with a K.
Con King Luke.
Yes.
So yeah, so that was an insane final. So congrats to them, man. That's crazy. So your friend Bogdan's going into the final, man.
Yeah, okay, this is
That was a
actually...
yeah. That was just a weird end too. Just trying to time road, but he just had enough to get there in the end too. It just yeah, it's such a that's such an awkward place to be in the time for road. But fortunately, it wasn't. There's one. Fortunately, Bogdan had just one road enough to win that game.
Yeah, and
So
actually, wait, it's possible that it was just like in that orbit, because if he doesn't win in that orbit, then if I remember correctly, Shindy bought a dev card, so
yeah,
then
he did.
Shindy could be stealing away army from Bogdan
Yeah,
on the next turn.
more than likely.
Oh, anyway,
So
very interested game. Was so balanced for such a long time.
yeah, I'm trying to load the end screen here. So, but yeah, it was such a great. That was such a great game to watch. So many twists and turns in that game. So
So Ben,
I'm trying to
when do you
go
intend
ahead.
to start the finals? Is there going to be a little break, or are
There's gonna be a
we?
little break. Is there something I want to discuss with the team? But we're gonna have a little break. I say before final. Hopefully in 15, 20 minutes we'll start. So I said 5 p.m. UTC. I'm sorry, 9 p.m. UTC. But we're gonna have a little bit break here. So I'm trying to pull. Like, is board gaming slow for you at the moment or no?
A little bit, yeah. That
Yeah.
sometimes
Okay.
happens with it.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, we'll have a little bit of break. What exciting semifinal that was. That was a great fun. That was a great semi here too. Fortunately for Jolly here, goes 3-0 in the semis, doesn't pull it off, but he got pretty close there. Yeah, but congrats to Bogdan for going making the final.
Man, what a game that was. Well, I guess in the next 15 minutes, we're just going to talk about that final position a little bit, and then we are going to have a break. In the meantime, also catching up on the chat belatedly. Hi, Marian. Hi, Pig. One interesting thing about this spot over here that I initially neglected how important this wheat port was, even though my instinct really wanted to go to the 3-8, but then this wheat port ended up buying blue some crucial devs. He was able to port the wheat after a 9 roll, then he bought a dev which happened to be the third knight, which gave them the double play. Interestingly, the army advantage with the minimum possible advantage and the road advantage with the
Yeah.
minimum possible advantage.
You say minimum, so like that, like just towards the like a opportunity cost, or
Oh no, like I meant like the minimum number of well, like the minimum possible number of knights that you can have, like which is
yeah,
3. And then I guess the roads. Well, I mean, this is very. I guess with the road, it's very often the case that you have just one more than your opponent. Yeah, but
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just all timing. It seems it's just like timely rolls and yeah, timely taking of the road to win that game there. So
alrighty. So I will be announcing. What do you mean, 15 minutes break? So do you want to like reconvene at 2200 UTC, something like this, or a bit earlier?
yes. Oh, let's do a little bit earlier. Yes.
Okay. So then I'm gonna schedule a break and make it until like 21:55, something like this.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So then I'll be also like muting us for that time.
Sounds good. Are we live right now or no?
Yeah, we're still live. We're still live.
Okay, we're still live. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just. Okay, I'm gonna just mute us right now. I wish good things to you who's still watching this. I am Alexey, and with me is still Benjamin Ramos, the organizer of the 2025 Mindsport Olympiad Grand Prix Catan tournament and the 2023 gold medalist, and a very strong online and in-person Catan player. So we are about to start the finals in a couple of minutes, where our four finalists are, if you remind me, Game Over, who won the semifinal, whom we just watched, Cici, the player with the screen name with 3 Ks, whom you see right now on the screen, and GeoPiglet, right?
Yep, GeoPiglet, yep.
So we get players of all kinds. Now, GeoPiglet, as you mentioned, is well known in the Catan scene, whereas Game Over and Cici are both Carcassonne experts, so they have been previously featured on this channel as well. Do you know much about the player? Let me try to pronounce Konkinluk.
So the only person I really know about is Pig, to be honest. So like Pig is, like I mentioned before in the stream, he's a very experienced Catan player. He's also experienced in the MSO tournament scene too. He was junior silver medalist last year in 2023. Not 24 in 2023. And Bogdan, you know him well from the Carcassonne. The other two I actually do not know very well in terms of players. So it's gonna be interesting to see, like in terms of the styles they play and how they play this game too. I feel like it's gonna be a lot more straightforward game than you might see like other Catan where it's a lot more diplomatic too, especially with like the different countries that are represented here too. We have Europe well represented and Asia well represented as well in this tournament here. So it's gonna be interesting to see like the mix of personalities, I feel, in this final.
Well, I'm also looking forward to this. Have you already instructed them to start? I don't see the game being set up just yet.
Yeah, we'll see. But I told them a little bit, but we'll see. The game should be starting soon, so I told them to start.
Okay, so I guess we'll be just refreshing the page a little bit once in a while. Board game is being a tad slow, but we should be good.
Yep.
Any predictions as to who's more likely to win?
I feel like Pig is probably the most experienced Catan player that I know of, but like in Catan, there's just a lot of stuff that can happen. But I feel like for me, like I feel like I would personally go for Pig because like he's the most experienced player that I know in terms of Catan. But who knows? Like, Catan is a game with lots of variance, could screw things up in terms of experience. So,
right, we're gonna find out that shortly. Interesting though, like if somebody is perceived as the strongest player, do you think this will get Pig robbed a little bit more often and therefore decrease their winning chances?
Could be. I mean, I don't know. Pig is well known in terms of like people say people who know about like Dandy Drew or like Delighted, in terms of like people like know about like Catan from like outside point of view. But like I said, he's also pretty well known in the MSO world. So I feel like if people perceive him as a strong player, then yes, that could hurt his table presence a little bit. So.
By the way, Ben, do you ever get like targeted in live tournaments because maybe somebody recognizes you from streams?
Not from streams, but from like previous NYC tournaments. So yes, someone legit told me like what I asked him like, don't you think about this, Rob? And one person was like, because I know how well you've done before. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just thinking target, which is kind of an honor too. So I guess. So people just know you. So but yeah, yeah. So sometimes like that does happen, and you just gotta roll with the punches. So.
Well, at least I'm fortunate as a Carcassonne player. It's mostly on one-on-one games, so you don't like. There's no way for a third party to get advanced when somebody targets you.
That's why sometimes I probably enjoy Carcassonne in Zoom or a trading card game involved with Lacana. That's probably I enjoy more because it's just 1v1. So, but Yeah, sometimes that could get frustrating in game Catan too. So I think that's what happened in 2024. Nationals were like, I try to get somebody advice, and they decided to do something different, and I got frustrated about it. So I was like, oh, so I was like, yeah. Sometimes like you have to figure out ways to kind of like have people kind of the same wavelength as you. So that's kind of the trick with Catan too. Is just like the kind of having just had the same wavelength as our other players. So let's see. I think they're about to start the game here too. But
Well, I'm not sure. I see Geo Piglet is playing a completely different game,
yeah, he is actually.
which I'm like not familiar. Wait, what is that? What is salt, sea salt, and paper? Are you familiar with that at all?
No. So it's probably a fun. It's with. We're all both viewing. We're both viewing the game here. So. It's funny too because it's actually one of it's one of Pig's good friend Zebra, who is the 2024 UK national champion. So.
Yeah, so I guess we change of plans. We're now watching.
Yeah, we're watching
a completely new game. Yes, this is the main event.
this is what we've come down to. So I mean, we did tell him 5. So, but oops. So, but.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
So we'll get the game set up. We kind of barged into the game. Oopsies.
I think this could be quite confusing for viewers just tuning in, because we're also talking about Carcassonne, which is the game which I streamed the most. But no, we are having Catan today. This is the finals of Mind Sports Olympiad. No mistake. It's just starting a little bit weirdly.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. The table has been set up. Although, like, the board game arena interface is a little bit weird, so you actually can't catch the moment when a game is starting.
That's a bit weird. But at least you can jump into a lobby. Oh yeah, that is weird though. So, but hopefully they'll start soon. I think they have.
So 3 players out of 4 have joined, and GeoPiglet has joined. We're only waiting for CCNO. She also just joined. And away we go. We actually get to witness the placement stage as well. So we have Game Over of Romania, CC of Portugal, Konkin Luke of Hong Kong, and GeoPiglet of the United Kingdom. And quite a wet board here. And Game Over is going first with the orange settlement. So Ben, what do you make of this position? Do you just automatically click on the 5, 6, 9 as the highest production spot, or is there more nuance to it?
I'm trying to think there is any nuance. I mean, I would just go there because that's just by far the best brick. I mean, the big worry is, do you get wood coming back? And I would say no. I actually don't like. Do I like being first in this board? So he goes 5, 9, 10. So that's the other little nuance. I guess he doesn't want to lose the 3-1 port. That's why, but. Yeah, that's interesting. You pass up on the very big spot. You lose 2 pips of production with that. So, I guess it's secure to find. It's interesting he doesn't try to point for the wheat port. So I guess.
I don't think he's ever getting a wheat port, because I can imagine also somebody not even going for the 4-5-8, but just settling on 8-10 straight up.
8-10, which is actually really good. So yes.
So as orange, do you ever go for the crazy idea of just going on 5, 8, 10 as your first pick, pointing downwards?
No, because I don't. Yeah, that's just what I mean. You have to figure out what you're getting coming back, and you could possibly get 10 for 11, but it just looks very slow. So no, in my opinion, you need that ore though. So
So CC goes on the 5-8-10, passes up the wheat for now, with 4 wheat hexes still available, potentially on the way back. Goes for the highest production spot. What do you make of that pick, Ben?
That's a great pick. That's a great pick. Like I said, one of the best ore spots here. Yeah, one of the highest producing spots here left. You could argue 964 might be good, but not really good port where you have 2 ports available to it, and especially the wheat port, the sheep port available on the top left. So very good pick. I like that pick.
Yeah, the sheep port combined with the best sheep. And actually, other than this 8, this is a very low sheep board, which could have some implications for the dev card game.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, that's the thing though. Does Kong King Luke go for A4 6-9-12 instead? Oh, that's such a good setup for Pig though. He could do whatever he wants, but that's just a really good setup for Pig that he just got left. Oh, that's so high producing. Does he go crazy and go like 8-10, 6-9-4? That's pretty good.
That's just pretty good. I mean, you have 5 of the best possible numbers, and
but at least 4-5-8 for somebody. So there's a lot of options for Pig here. So I don't think 8-10. I don't think pointing Weeport's smart because like somebody's gonna take 8-10.
Why? But maybe that actually explains Kong King Luke's pick here, because again, like
it could be, yeah.
Yeah, he's getting one of those spots on the way back. Like 6-9-12 does look counterintuitive for me because it's just so far away from everything, but it is the best ore, it is the best brick.
Yeah. 8-10 makes sense, but let's see, you do probably have a good amount of expansion there to the 11-12. It's just how can you set it up pretty fast with the 8-10? So I mean, hopefully you get lots of 9s, but really the point is if you're going 8-10, you just have to hope you set it up that fast so you can profit off that 8-10. So, but I think this leaves Pig so many good options here. 6-9-4 8-4 free. I think that's the first thing. You could do 8-4-5 8-4 free if you want the extra wheat spot instead of the extra wood spot. I mean, 6-9-4 8-4 is actually not too bad. That's actually pretty good. I would just do that.
And then where do you point the road on the 4-5-8?
No, so I'm thinking 6-9-4 8. Well, 8-4.
Oh, 8-4 like the sheep and ore.
Yeah.
And then say, oh, because you have the wood port there. Oh, this is really, really nice. And
I
then
actually kind of like that because you could make the 4 super powerful.
But then also, like, as the 4th player on such an open board, like, don't you hate going on the coast and leaving so much space for the other players?
That's a problem, but I think there's already so much space available for the players here. Because I think that actually that's the kind of the after effect of Game Over doing the 5-9-10. That actually opened up the 6 pretty much a lot. It opened up 6-9-12. It opened up 6-11-5. So I think like Bogdan is trying to get easy X for the 3-1 port, but opening up those 2 different 6 spots is good. So so Pig is going 8-4-5. He's trying to risk it. I don't think he's getting that. So, but that's a pretty good balance setup. So
yeah, I mean, if he gets the 8-10, it's just lights out.
Yeah.
And so far, so he's going for more for Orway cheapy setup, but if he doesn't get a port, he has a bit of an imbalance, kind of not enough ore for all this influx of wheat and sheep.
I think this works out for Conkud, though, because 9-6-4 is actually a fantastic place. And we talk about coordinate numbers, 9-6-4 is actually super good. So.
Right, because you get a road on every roll. You can then settle maybe on the 6-3-11 soon.
Possibly. I think your goal. Yeah, you could do that. I think that might be taken though. I think Bogdan would take that because that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that actually makes sense for like ore wheat sheep setup a lot. 2 wheat, 2 sheep. So kind of unblockable. He's vulnerable on the 9 ore.
Yeah.
But he also has a bit of space for expansion there.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about the 3-6-11 road.
Ah, yes, that's better. That's better. Of course, that's better. We're just
Yeah.
taking up more space.
And kind of limits like Kong King Luke's setup here too. So this is gonna be interesting. What does Cece do here?
Does she go just for the
Well,
8-10 and like play the super variance game?
Could. I mean, 1165 is also. Well, that's the thing. 1165 is also fantastic.
Oh, coordinated
It's a fan-
fives. Every five is a
Coordinated
city. Yeah.
I am a huge fan of coordinated or wheat. I mean, coordinated road is pretty good, but I think coordinated or wheat is better. Don't you think that, Alexey?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Even, by the way, in the last qualification round, so Bogdan barely won with 2 monos, actually, but there was this Latvian player, starting like with an R screen name, Rudix or something like this, who was
Rudik,
on,
yeah.
who doesn't even have a 6 or an 8, but he had coordinated on or wheat on the 5, and he just got so far ahead so early, finished the game on 9 points, and just dev, click, 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 click.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing that I do worry, one thing that I do worry about it. So let's say if we take the 5, 10, 11. Oh, so you said 5, 6, 11, right?
Yeah.
And then presumably pointing the words upwards. Do we get plowed by Bogdan on like 10, 11, 3, and then he can take all those 5 hexes at the top?
Yes, that is a big worry. Because I think that's the most sensible spot. He could do A10, just to have like the weak kingdom, which is actually not too bad. But 10, 11, 3 could be a possibility.
Oh, you mean that Bogdan could do 8, 10?
I mean that's actually pretty good to me. I would do that. That's awesome. Yeah,
Wow.
free numbers that could like you could be efficient with. I like that.
Right, so then you do get yourself probably 2 early cities, and then you can use your wheat port for sheep, and then you click, and buy devs.
Yeah, buy devs or just basically the whole side of the board, unless like Kong King Luke just somehow crazily tracks back here. So it is 1165 though.
For what does she point the road? Okay, up. She says she just wants on Bogdan not plowing her.
That's fine. That. I mean, what can you do? Go left, and you basically have any dead road here, no matter what. So that's fine. So it prevents an interesting situation. Does Bogdan do 11-10 free to cut off that road, or we port and let Pig have that wheat port? So it's a very interesting decision.
Wheat ports are certainly fascinating, but I'm actually wondering, so let's say if Bogdan goes for the center of the board and goes for the 10, yeah, he does, and he does go for the plow, it
where
seems.
Does he point? He does have a lot of room to the left. Yeah, that's fine. Because that 3-6-11 is not great.
Ah.
So, I mean, granted, it just rolled.
Well, you know what? It seems to me that Bogdan is saying to Cece, you're going to have coordinated 5s? Okay, I'm going to have coordinated 9s. And he's pointing the road to the left, hoping to get himself this sort of city. But then my question is, where do you offload the extra wheat? Do you just double on the ore and go on the 3-9 port?
Yeah, I think that's the right decision there. Go for 3-1 first, because you're going to have a bunch of excess wheat. And you need to port that. So I think that's the right decision there.
Well, yeah, the players certainly making some moves which surprise me, but also this is why I'm nowhere near the finals.
I mean, it surprised me too. The 6-5-9, the 5-9-10 as first pick definitely surprised me. And I think that it allowed, like, I think a really good setup for Kong King. Oh my god, if he gets that right away, that'll be devastating. And also Pig not. I'm surprised A10 didn't get picked, to be honest. So I'm actually very shocked that Pig has free range for that. But it could get backtracked, so we'll see. But it could work out for Bogdan if he could get enough rolls. So.
And also, actually, it's a bit of a slow start for Pig because he needs to hustle for brick. It's not a very high brick board. I mean, they are the 6s, but bricks are quite valuable for most players. There's a three-way race for 3-6-11 over here, which seems to favor the player from Hong Kong.
Yeah, I think the Hong Kong player will probably get that, because I think it looks like a freeway race, but like I think the two other players have different priorities in terms of like where they want to build their first settlement. So dev here, or trying to save it for city.
Yeah, we have our first trade of the game, so that's a ore for sheep. Does not result in any purchases in 8 rolls. Wheat and sheep for pig.
Yeah, that's actually another. There's actually 4 different coordinated numbers here. We have, we have the 2 powerful ones with the 5 and the 9, or we in the row one. We also have this is kind of underrated coordination in terms of like the sheep and wheat. That's actually great dev production there. So a lot of coordinated numbers here. Coordinated synergy here.
Probably means a faster game, I would presume.
Yeah, usually high or high wheat games are faster.
So Bogdan just passes his turn, and CC rolls a6. 1 more road for Kong.
Pig might be in trouble. He might get plowed to Orport.
Oh no! But that would be just something else, because Kong is on 2 ore hexes if he gets to the 411.
Yeah, that's actually pretty insane.
But then I guess he needs to first secure his spots on the 3-6-11, because he could get plowed by CC at some point if he doesn't settle there.
Yeah, but he definitely has it. He definitely has a plow. Here's the thing, though. He just gave him. Oh no, he goes for settle. So interesting.
But does he have the plow too? Does he have the 2 roads in hand as well?
He gave up a wood. I don't think so, because he gave up a brick. Oh, he's going for 8 instead. Oh, I think ore is better. 8's good, but like you just need to get Wheatport on top of that. So
yeah, but he actually might, because it is a slow start for Piglet. He might ask the table for a brick just to prevent Kong on going on that brick port, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if what's the color? Brown? Reds? Yeah. How would you call it?
It's brown. It's brown in my opinion.
Yeah, so let's say if Brown just gets to the 8-10 before even CC does. In the meantime, just catching up on the chat a little bit. Hi, Cat Leo. Hi, Jess. Saying players are so nice on BGA, no plows. Yeah, definitely players on BGA are less cutthroat and than maybe on some other platforms. But also...
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to say that probably the way we see these finals would not necessarily be reflective of how players play on Board Game Arena, just because some players even make a separate account or a new Board Game Arena account just to play in the Mind Sports Olympiad. So all of these 4 players have experience on other platforms as well. So I don't think anybody will be unreasonably nice in this game.
I do see in Board Game Arena, there's a lot of times where there's a lot of friendly fire is not implemented, but there's a lot of times where people don't block just because I don't want to hurt somebody. But I feel like if you're like the first person to rob somebody, then you committed like the worst offense ever. So it really feels like that. Bogdan just got settled. That's big. And CC gets a nice 7 here.
Yeah, so 3 out of 4 players get themselves the immediate objectives. 3 points for Bogdan, doubling up on the ore, some wheat and ore balance. CC doubling up on the 5.
I think that should have been 9 ore there.
9 ore, yeah. Well, I guess she's really concerned about all these roads, and she wants to disrupt the coordination of Kong. Yeah. But then if you go over here, indeed, on the 9, you're hurting both players, both orange and brown.
Yeah, I agree, but CC has city in hand.
Oh, you know that, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, it's two 5s in a row, so CC has a city in hand, but 8 cards, so that could be wrecked.
And interestingly, the one player who's currently behind is the player with, we assume, the monster setup with the double 8s and potentially access to the wheat port.
I think just getting. I mean, we thought that too, but like just getting that 5 though, it's just been like so. So getting the coordinate 5 and having not blocked and actually having rolled it, it's been pretty good. So I think we think it's a monster wheat setup, but I mean it could be good timing for Pig because now like if Conking Luke gets that spot, that's actually super game over. Especially that wheat port here too. Ooh, okay, so that's really good protection. That's really good protection for Pig. And for CC as well, because no matter what. But City, look at that.
City
That's
plus
big.
road, so gets to use his hand efficiently. He does pay 2
Very
cards.
efficient. I think it accomplished a lot though. City, road, and city here too. So still though, like they have to watch out for CC though, because like CC has city no matter what. There's no trade probably gonna happen here.
Yeah, even if she 7s out, she only needs 5 cards for a city.
Yeah. So
So do you?
wait, the perfect. Go ahead.
So I'm wondering, like, as CC, I mean, she's probably gonna city now. Bogdan, in the meantime, is building a road to the 2-9-10, which is my assumption, and that's why he's porting for a wood. He really wants to get these coordinated 9s, as he's feeling the envy for CC's coordinated 5s, and a 7 is rolled. She will be getting her city, but she will be discarding 5 cards. A pretty easy choice. You just discard everything but the city.
Yes. That's what you hope, but people could surprise you.
And then when you city, first of all, what do you block here, CC? Do you actually go for the 9 or now?
It's 9 or yeah. I mean that's just the big. Well, yeah, that's the big block because like that's coordinated 9s for Conking Luke. Yep, right there.
Oh, right. I just noticed that brown was also on these 9s. I was just thinking how orange is going to get on the coordinated 9s, but brown's already
it
there.
hurts both. It hurts Bogdan more, but it hurts also Conking Luke as well too. So, that's pretty big. So I actually do not like that city choice.
Yeah, this was going to be my next question.
Okay, it's sheep port, so I guess that's understandable. I think it's 5 or though.
Oh, right, to disrupt the coordination because she has a second city in the making.
I guess that's why you say that, but I think 1165 is better efficiency because you could just do that later.
Yeah,
I think it should have been 11.6. I think it should have been 11.65 there. But
no, I agree. And the thing that I also like about the 11.65 is the fact that it's on the triple shared 5, so it doesn't get blocked as much as this.
Yeah, I mean it.
But just as I said it, Geo Piglet does block one of the 3 hexes adjacent to that potential city.
Yeah.
I don't think CC was the primary target. Presumably that was just aimed at Kong, and he steals a card from him.
It kind of is unfortunate because the 5 or is more impactful. I think that's the better game to make sure CC doesn't get a runaway game. It's just the problem is though that like if Conking Luke gets Conking Luke is still threatening the wheat port, so that's just If Pig loses that, game over.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, at this point you make some sort of deal. Hey, like, how I know I give you 2 non-blocks and then you don't touch my wheat port or something like this.
I would definitely take. I would try to say that. Try to figure out something here. So. Yeah, I think though this is why CC sub is pretty damn good. 5 block, at least CC has the 8 to at least take off some of the sting from losing that. And as soon as I said it, it rolls. So still can't do anything with that though. Oh, and it rolls again.
2 free cards right there.
Yep. Ooh, that's a big.
Well, where does this go now? Because he can't really block the 8 because he's on the 8. He's also on the 5. So I guess he's going back to the 6, but it really doesn't hurt CC that much. She's on another brick hex anyway. It's not like she needs the brick much.
No, I think though for Pig though, you just have to worry about your own game here. So that's the problem. Because yeah, just losing that wheat port is pretty critical.
Well, I mean, Kong still needs 8 cards in order to win that wheat port.
Interesting to steal from CC because that was mainly 4/5 sheep, which Pig doesn't really need unless it's a good port. So he has a port. So yeah, that's what Pig's looking for. He's looking for a good port here.
Oh, he's looking to 4 for 1 the sheep? Wait.
Yeah, he's looking to 4/4 the sheep here. He has 5 sheep in hand.
Okay, so we've reached a deal. Sells an
Yeah, so
ore,
he
purchases a brick.
Yeah, that's a very good trade, and I think this is settled here. Yep, right there.
Okay, so a huge sigh of relief for GeoPiglet and all of our British fans as finally there's no threat of a plow, and his setup is very close to complete. He probably wants to go to the 411 at some point, but then do you even have to? You have your ports, you have your ore wheat sheep. Do you just pop at this point?
I think you do. I think it depends on your hand. I think like you just pop, because I think army is part of your win condition. So if you lose that, it's gonna be a hard time trying to win this game. So I think, yeah, but it is also important to have that like force settle because like right now for Pig, that's his most efficient settle right now. So.
In the meantime, a 9 rolls, the coordinated 9s for Kong and almost for Bogdan, who spends his ore and wheat on purchasing a board card, on a development card, maybe for some protection, maybe for some other purposes. What do you make of Orange's last move? Like, would you have bought the dev card, or would you have tried to save for a city as Bogdan?
I don't think you need to protect that because like there's bigger threats. Like the only person who will block that 9 is CC. So in my opinion, save up for a city so you get that better production. So and make that 5/9 more powerful. So I guess if he has an extra ore in hand, that makes sense. If he has 2 ore, because then there's no difference having 3 or 4 ore in your hand. It's still a city. But yeah, I think if he had 2 ore in hand, that makes sense. If he have that was his only ore, maybe safer city. But because now I think like he probably is gonna wait like 2 more orbits to get the ore needed for city. So.
Well, he did roll a 9 just now, so he's not that far away, it seems. And he's on 6 cards, yeah, so had he not purchased the dev card, he would have been already...
Okay, CC just rolled, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, if he had the extra ore, we'll see, but... I mean, if he could city, it's still a pretty even game, though, so... And that's a pretty good 7. What does he block here, though?
Maybe the 8? Prevent some devs?
I think 8. Yeah, I agree with 8 sheep here.
Yeah, 8 sheep. Because now Piglet's setup is complete, and for CC it's also a free card. It's quite an impactful hex here. This, of course, unblocks the coordinated 5s for CC, but then I guess we just pray that 5 don't roll.
Yeah.
The steal here is also interesting. Like, who do you steal here and why?
I think it's depending what stuff people have. I think mostly everybody has sheep, so in my opinion, it doesn't matter unless you want to like prevent like a port from CC. Which I think everybody has sheep though. So I think at that moment you have to figure out who has what, and Bogdan buys another dev,
which probably means that he did stole a sheep.
Yeah, which to be honest, that's fine. Oh, look at those 5s. That's unlocked.
Is this another city?
I would dev here. I mean, yeah, that's the right play. I think CC was missing some wheat here, but yeah, I think 5. I think not trying to dev there just leaves you like very vulnerable without a knight. So. I mean, it's nice to have like a city for a roll here. Some good rolls here for the players, though.
So Piglet now with 10 cards, with 7 cards and the 10 just rolled. He has a bunch of wheat in hand, and he can at least dev here, I presume. He must have an actual actionable hand.
Yeah. This is...
He's thinking about this, maybe thinking of spitting out some trades.
Maybe try to go for a row, which is not. But he's also having other people buy devs here, which is not good.
Yeah, also
Especially
looking at this setup, like, so basically several people have setups with which they can devs. So Bogdan's buying, CC's buying now, and she has to. And then does this mean that Kong, as the one road player, actually gets to sort of sit aside, then build himself to like 5 points, and then run away with this game? Is that a possibility?
It could be that could be a possibility, especially if he's not nobody's paying attention to Brown here, to Kong King Luke. So I mean, there is a worry, but I think these players are. I think especially like say with the players here. Oh, that's a bad 7. I think with the players here, they're gonna be wise enough to like say, hey, like we gotta be careful of this player here. So, but that's a bad 7 for these, for Bogdan and CC. Yeah, I think though, like, I would like Kong King's setup with going to the 4 or a lot better. I know he's trying to get the 8 wheat, but now it's just like it's really not. It's really just excess wheat that you probably don't need. It might get you closer, but yeah, I think if you got the 4 ore, that would have been much better here. That's he keeps buying devs here. I think he's playing a little more slower game here. He's trying to secure army, I guess, and then eventually like get the cities later. It's kind of an interesting strategy that players do at times. Like they forgo the getting the city first, but instead of buying devs, you're like secure a win condition with his army, or try to like hold for like anti monopoly and that stuff. Very aggressive block.
Was that an aggressive knight?
It wasn't an aggressive knight. It was.
Oh no, that was just a 7, right?
Yeah, it was a set. No, it was a knight. It was a knight. Play before the roll. I think you still have to watch out for Bogdan. That's the problem. I think Pig is actually not that far ahead. That's what people think.
I mean, the coordinated 8s are scary, and the wheat port is scary. No, I think sometimes in Catan, like, it's not just about the truth, it's also about the perceived truth as well.
Yeah, agreed. And kind of the perceived truth is like, what are Bogdan's devs here? They're free devs, so I feel like that's actually a little bit more scary than Pig's devs here. But you can't really block on that. But look, that's a scary roll there.
Well, Kong must be relatively close to a city. There were a few 9s, and he wasn't getting robbed for a while.
10.
Bogdan with a 10 surely must have enough cards to do something, maybe buy yet another dev.
Could be good. I mean, he's already dove deep into the deck.
You never know, one of these 3 cards might be a mono or something.
Yeah, it's interesting how these players are pacing this game in terms of like instead of forgoing increasing their production, they're trying to get like kind of like their tools here. So that's another ore. Is this a city here finally? Because this is 4. This is 3, and yep, it is.
Yes,
yeah,
and what a great city it is. High production spot, and it produces even more cities.
I think that's what Bogdan buying the devs. I think it helped him actually like lower his threat level compared to Pig, because I thought Bogdan should have been blocked on the 9, but now look at that, he gets unblocked. And let's see here. I actually like playing the knight before because 5 is such an impactful role. I think I actually like freeing that up. So, but
yeah, this is 2 knights.
Yeah, Caesar's right. This is a very interesting game in terms of pacing.
Yeah,
I
lots
would
of
say.
blocks as well. Now about pacing, just wanted to address what you said about like this thing about getting the city first, production first, and dev cards later. As somebody who has watched a lot of Delighted videos, I've kind of like gotten used to the idea that early dev cards are wrong, and you're really supposed to city first, and then you get the dev cards. But for Bogdan, it seems to be working out, and he's sort of having his cake and eating too, having both the cities and 3 down devs already.
Yeah. And that's why with CC, like buying the city, I actually think that should have been dev, because now you can't move it off, and but Kong King Luke is he gets an extra, finally gets that summit. That's been there for a while, but he finally gets that summit spot. But yeah, it is interesting how like you get your city first, but also like talk about the perceived truth. Like sometimes the perceived truth is like, oh, you got so much production. Well, with Bogdan, we gained those dev early. Now he has like protection potentially, buying those knights, and he actually didn't get robbed a couple times. So, yeah.
Kong in the meantime gets a dev card, so everybody gets dev card. Even the road player gets dev cards.
The road player gets a dev card. He does need a VP, I think. So that's I think that's understandable. Because I think it might be a little hard to get build 10, but I think VP makes your game a little shorter. So that's fine.
Yeah, so I guess this is sort of the road player's dream. Like, so what do you have? 1 city, 1 VP, and 5 settlements in this. Yeah, and the longest road, obviously. So this brings you to 10.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're already 10, very like 10 cards deep into the deck here, almost halfway.
And 4 knights already played. Presumably some of the bots devs are knights. I'm not sure about Bogdan's cards here.
That's actually a great card for Pig. That's an awesome card for Pig.
Does he have the plow? No, he does not.
No, but I think that's fine. I don't know where you go here. That's an interesting thing.
I guess 411 would make sense.
That's one. I think you just need to up your ore production.
Actually,
10's fine.
I don't quite understand, like, why do you play the road building here in the first place? Like, what's the time sensitivity there?
I think your worry is... That is a good question. I think your big worry is 6s rolling. So, this is Woodport instead.
Or maybe... Interesting. But then then the other card must be a Yop or something, because otherwise he would have waited.
That's actually a great point. That's actually a very good point.
Because like normally you want to do the road building with the plow straight away, but if he doesn't have it, then he must have it in some way.
I think he's trying to set it up because you might be right. It might be Yop and road building. So, but that's a massive number for Pig there. He's been waiting for that number to roll.
So 2 ores and a wood. I wonder if he actually... I mean, he will need the Yop for the brick, of course. And another 4.
Well, he's over 7. Uh-oh.
I mean, he's still going to have the settle if he 7s out.
But he's losing all that ore. I don't know if he wants to lose that.
A city in hand for Geo Piglet. Like, even I can track this far.
Nice job, Alexey.
All right. Oh, it was just a knight.
It was just a knight, so...
So then very, very curious about the timing of that road building here.
That is very curious here. I mean, CC could potentially get there. Will they get a trade, though?
6 points. Well, he survives.
He does survive.
He has a city. Obviously does not have a settlement due to a lack of bricks, but a brick just rolled. Well, CC's not going to give it to him. Will Kong?
I mean, that's a good trade for Kong King, but puts him over 7.
I wonder if you can offer insurance with that. Like, I've tried doing this on Board Game Arena. Like, normally players just don't dig the concept at all.
Yeah. I mean, we can't do free card trades, so that's a thing. That's a thing that complicates it.
Yeah, but you can do like the 2-for-1, 1-for-1, that sort of thing.
You could, yeah, you could. Does he waste 4?
So Conking, let me just scroll to show the trade though. I don't think he can waste 4 ore. I don't think he can afford to do that. Cece's only 3 cards, and and also she's on like 11 wood. It's not really likely that she's gonna draw a settlement. No. Nobody's gonna trade her settlement. No. But then let me just scroll, show these trades. So Conking is willing to sell a brick for a sheep and an ore. And the trade does not happen. Instead, we see a dev card and a city on the 8/4/5. Also a powerful turn.
Pig got a knight, so I think Pig got a knight, so I think he's safely city there. Oh, but there's a bunch of 5.
Actually, you know what I'm thinking? Like this plow attempt with the road building. On one hand, of course, it tries to gun for the settlement spot. But then, if you maybe pull another road building, you can sneak a 5 segment longest road, perhaps.
Good. Here's the thing, though. Pig doesn't get a knight. Con can't go for the double play here.
Yeah, I mean, typically the double play does not tend to work that often, but we saw the semifinals, Bogdan with a double play, the army and road just found him the time window. Cece with 7 cards is looking for a wheat. So other players are reluctant to trade her.
It might be, I think there's ore there, so that's a good 8. That's a good 8 for Pig. What does Conking do here? 14
cards. And he also tries to offer a trade, but also it's kind of a smart trade because he's offering a brick, and he knows that Geo needs it. And
oh yes, that's it. I wonder what's going to happen here. It's road. Well, I think that unlocks Pig's. Well, Conking could be at 8 right now.
He could, but he's out of settlement spots, so he will need to build a city to advance.
Yeah. I think that's actually a great trade for Pig. If he could settle here. Oh my god, he's getting these rolls!
Like, he's actually quite close to winning.
Yeah!
Because he can get himself a settlement that's 6. He could have a 3rd knight that's army that's 8.
He can have Dev. That's a huge settle. That's a huge settle. Which unlocks a 4 too. And I think he actually built another road. He could Dev build a road. What a turn this could be.
He could build a road and open himself a settlement spot in the 4/11, but
instead, that's a city, which is that's fine too.
You know what? He now constructed a city, and it makes me think that his 3rd card is actually a knight, and he's trying to go for the 4 cities plus army win condition.
Yep. This game could be over quick. Yeah, and now Bogdan's realizing it. Yeah, he's got to do that.
But I think we are like a little bit too late. Yeah, we see an aggressive knight, of course, trying to block the 8.
What great pacing by Pig. What great pace. That's really good pacing. It's just fortunate, like I said, that's a bad 7 for CC. But that's kind of, I mean, it was also an active effect of CC going for a city instead of a dev. It like I said, it allowed this like opportunity for Pig to pace army and have this perfect kind of like this perfect pace of play to get the army here. So and that's a painful 7.
Well, she does discard a lot of brick. Just think what it plays. The knight blocks Geo on the 4 ore because Geo's already has a lot of wheat. So she blocked the complementary resource.
They gotta help CC. Or that.
It's just trying to get a dev now, but it could be a little bit too late because Geo's getting army in the next turn.
It was 3 turns too late, unfortunately. So there's a 5 though.
So that's a CC or a dev or for CC. I said the CC for CC. A city for CC, yes.
Yes.
Kong continues the road, but he needs to build a city. He could be at 8 points, but no way to build settlements.
I hope he realizes that. So, yep, is perfect, like you said, Alexey. He had the knight to hold that. I actually think, 6. That's what I was thinking there, 6, because you don't care about. And CC is, that's the correct Rob there.
Yeah, and he has winning rolls, right? And 8 has to win for sure.
Well, there's a 7. 8 could win, 4 can win. I actually think you blocked I think you blocked your army Yeah, right there. Kong is just building roads, so you don't have to worry about that. So does he get the extra protection here? I think you buy a dev here just to be safe. If he has it.
He gets a sheep, which implies a dev. He can also pull for the win.
Did he get it?
Nope.
No! But what a roll. Oh my god, look at that roll.
I think he should have it at this point.
I mean, but he has 3 more turns though, so...
Yeah. And 7 could roll. He could get robbed.
Yes. Yeah, CC... If CC has a knight, if that's like knight, like... If that's like knight and then 7 and pig goes down to 7, that could actually help them out. But it's just I think no way for.
Bogdan is trying to hustle for some trades, although he's looking for a brick for some reason. I guess he's just trying to get himself some points to settle. Yeah, okay, now he's getting himself.
He just needs to. Yeah.
Yeah, either a victory point or a knight, maybe still hoping for that army. It's not entirely unrealistic. Now, CC, of course, going to rob pig a little bit.
It's 8. It's 8. Yeah, that's more impactful roll.
So Gio's still at 8, and she robs him, and he could still 7 out, theoretically.
Yeah, so that's the worst possible situation, but nope, he gets a little more padding.
2 extra wheat for the Brits. CC with lots of brick in her hands, which is not easy for her to use because she does not have a brick port. But she needs to get a dev.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the other players would probably have to help her.
I feel like CC has so much ore and wheat that she could port that too. So
I think she also, but she was double robbed by Gio here, so she might have 2 less ore.
Let's see, but
in the meantime, Elias in the chat asking what's a plow? A plow is just Catan lingo for doing something like this. I'm just drawing it right now for cutting off somebody's settlement spot and taking it off your own, typically going in front of their roads. So this was an opportunity that was not taken by Kong. Well, CC gets her money roll, but will that even matter? Because this could very well be the last orbit of the game.
It should have been dev there. It should have been dev anyway. It's still game over. So
yeah, and Kong just
passes. Kong's just hoping to get his 9 point.
Oh right, yeah. Because in this game, it actually matters because then it determines the silver and bronze.
Yeah, it does determine silver and bronze. Yes. So it's another knight.
But 13 cards, though, that probably should be enough with a wheat port and a bunch of wheat.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be game.
Could he get to 11 points or something?
It won't count, but yeah, he's just doing simple here. There it is!
The 10th point for Geo Piglet. Kong with 8 points.
Yeah, Kong with 8, CC with 6, and game over. And Bogdan with 5. Congrats to Pig. He is the 2025 MSO Grand Prix Catan champion.
Congratulations to Pig indeed, and your prediction, Ben, indeed came true. The most experienced of the players prevailed, and I really liked your comment about the pacing here, because at first, like, we both seemed to see that it looked like a monster setup, but then Gio looked a little bit behind. He even had 3 points when all the other players were in 4 and 5, and then bam, settle on 8-10, pop, 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 army, 4 knights, and 4 cities, just like that.
Yeah, I mean, it really is just like the window opportunity that, I mean, CC afforded Pig to get, because CC had the army pacing. Instead, going for city was super costly, I think, for CC. It allowed Pig to basically get all the devs and basically kind of just, it was kind of smooth sailing to win that game. So
yeah, so if we imagine if CC were to get that knight earlier, she would have had
oh yeah,
1 fewer point on the board, but she would have had 4 played knights and the army pacing, and Gio would still have to work for his win condition, potentially even having to build to 10 or buying multiple more knights, giving the other players a few more orbits to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, that's how I kind of won my 2023 MSO Grand Prix. Somebody afforded me to instead of buying a dev, done something different, settle, and that allowed the opportunity for me to get the army there too. So I feel like, yeah, it's just like Pig took advantage of the opportunity that was presented to him, and he got him the gold medal.
Yeah, well, that was quick, but it was fun for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was fun. So it was a busy day trying to set up a tournament. So, but yeah, as I said, we saw some great Catan action too. Like I said, but a truly deserving winner, I think, that won this tournament in Pig. So,
and of course, Kong King with silver, CC with bronze. This will be quite important for the Pentamine standing as well, the meta events of the Mind Sports Olympiad. Bogdan just short of a medal. I feel like that must be familiar to you as well, as if I remember correctly, before winning, or 2 years before winning, you were on Bogdan's spot.
Yeah, I played the 2.5 hour CK game. And somehow, even though I was at 12 points at one point, it still finished 4th. Yeah, that sucked. That sucked.
Yeah, well, so commiserations to Bogdan, but we never know. Maybe this is a precursor to another final table in a couple of years, just like Ben had.
Yeah, I mean, making final table was pretty good in the Catan tournament, so...
Yeah. Anyway, then we're gonna be wrapping up. Congratulations to Pig and all our British fans. Again, before we leave, make sure to, how would I say this in a Catan term? So I normally say meeple the like button. I guess for Catan I have to say settle on the like button.
Settle on the like button, yeah.
Settle on the like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you want to say more competitive board game content like this, I can't promise much Catan, although I would love to do again the same stuff this year. My channel is more like 80% Carcassonne, 20% Azul, and sometimes the occasional Catan and competitive Scrabble if you're into these kind of things. So then that's gonna be it. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining and your insightful commentary.
No problem. Thank you for having me on again. It's always a pleasure to come on your channel here too. You guys, and let's say it was a lot of fun just hanging out and watching a game of Catan on this lovely night.
And thank you all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.
Bye bye.
Okay, stop the stream. Actually, some good viewership. Yeah, like